The glass doors of the luxury car dealership slid open with a soft whisper. A cold breeze followed, and with it, an old man walked in. His clothes were simple. Worn-out shoes, a faded shirt. Nothing about him matched the polished marble floors or the shining cars around him. People noticed, not because he looked important, but because he didn't belong. A young salesman glanced at him, then smirked. Another nudged his colleague. "Wrong place. Old man," someone muttered under their breath. But the old man said nothing. He simply walked forward, slowly. Carefully, like every step carried memory. His eyes stopped a car. A deep black luxury sedan. Shiny, powerful, expensive. He reached out, gently touching the surface, as if he wasn't just seeing a car, but remembering something. "Sir, please don't touch that." The voice was sharp, disrespectful. A salesman in a tailored suit approached him with a fake smile. "That car is not for browsing." The old man turned. His eyes were calm. "I'd like to know more about this one," he said softly. The salesman laughed. Actually laughed. Out loud. "Do you even know how much this costs?" Another employee joined in. "Sir, this isn't a showroom for tourists." A third added, "or dreamers." The old man didn't react. He simply nodded once. "I understand," he said quietly, but he didn't move. That annoyed them. "Look, we're busy," the first salesman snapped. "Real customers are coming in. Please don't waste our time." A couple standing nearby glanced over, whispering, judging. The old man noticed, but still, he didn't argue. "I just want to ask." "Sir," this time the voice was colder, harder. "If you're not buying, you need to leave." The room went silent. For a moment, everything paused. Even the old man's breathing seemed heavier now. He looked around, at the shining cars, at the employees, at the place. Then he gave a small nod. "All right," he said, and turned to leave. As he reached the door, someone chuckled behind him. "Maybe try a bicycle shop next time." Laughter followed, loud, mocking, echoing. The door opened again. The old man stepped outside and disappeared. Inside, everything went back to normal, or so they thought. The salesmen resumed their chatter, joking, laughing, forgetting. But one person hadn't laughed, a young receptionist. She had watched everything, quietly, uncomfortably. Something about the old man didn't feel right. She shook it off. "Just another poor guy," one salesman said. "Yeah," another replied. "They always come in dreaming big." Hours passed. The showroom filled and emptied. Deals were made. Contracts signed. Money exchanged. And by evening, the old man was completely forgotten. But far away, in a quiet office, the same old man sat down. This time, he wasn't ignored. People stood as he entered. Respectfully, silently, a man in a suit approached him. "Sir, everything is ready," he said. The old man nodded, placed his hand on the table, and looked at a file with the dealership's name on it. His expression changed. Not angry, not emotional, just certain. "Tomorrow," he said calmly, "we begin." Back at the dealership, lights turned off, doors locked, employees went home, laughing, relaxed, unaware, because tomorrow everything was going to change. Morning arrived like any other day. The dealership doors opened, lights flickered on, coffee machines hummed, and the same polished smiles returned. The salesmen gathered near the entrance, laughing, talking about yesterday. "Did you see that old guy's face?" one of them said. Another chuckled. "I swear he thought he could buy that car." More laughter. Careless, loud, unaware. The receptionist stayed quiet. Her eyes moved toward the door. For a second, she thought about him again. Something about the way he spoke, the way he looked at the car. It didn't feel like curiosity. It felt like familiarity. But she said nothing. At exactly 10:00 a.m., a black car stopped outside. Not just any car. A long, sleek, chauffeur-driven vehicle. Everyone noticed, because this wasn't normal. The doors opened. A man in a formal suit stepped out first. Then another. Then another. They weren't customers. They didn't look around. They walked straight toward the entrance. The laughter inside slowly faded. "Who are they?" someone whispered. The glass doors opened, and the suited men stepped inside. Their presence changed the atmosphere instantly. No smiles, no casual energy, just silence. "Good morning," one of them said firmly. "We're here for a scheduled visit." The manager quickly stepped forward. His tone shifted. Respectful, careful. "Of course, sir. Welcome," he said. "May I ask what this is regarding?" The man didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked around, at the employees, at the showroom, at everything. Then he spoke. "Ownership matters." The words felt heavy, confusing. "Ownership?" the manager repeated. A slight nervous laugh escaped him. "Yes," the man replied. "Effective today." Silence. No one understood. Before anyone could ask further, another car stopped outside. This time, everyone turned. The door opened slowly, and the old man stepped out. The same worn shoes, the same simple clothes, the same calm expression. But something was different. No one laughed. No one moved. The receptionist froze. Her eyes widened. The old man walked toward the entrance. Step by step, slow, steady, unstoppable. The glass doors opened for him. This time, no one told him to leave. He entered, and the entire showroom went silent. The salesman who mocked him yesterday stood frozen. One of them whispered, "It's him." The old man didn't look at them. Not yet. He walked past the cars, past the desks, past the manager, until he reached the center of the showroom. The suited men immediately straightened. One of them spoke. "Sir, everything has been finalized." "Sir," that one word changed everything. The manager's face lost color. I don't understand," he stammered. The old man finally turned. His eyes met the manager's. Calm, sharp, unforgiving. "You will," he said quietly. He gestured toward the file in the suited man's hand. The man stepped forward and handed it to the manager. "Transfer of ownership," he explained. "Signed and effective as of this morning." The manager's hands trembled as he opened it. His eyes scanned the pages, line by line, until they stopped at the signature, the same name as the old man standing in front of him. "No," the manager whispered. This can't be." But it was. The old man took a step closer. "I came yesterday," he said. His voice was still calm, but now it carried weight. "I asked about a car." The salesmen lowered their eyes. "I was told to leave." No one spoke. I was laughed at. The silence grew heavier. I was judged. The receptionist looked down. Guilt filled her face. The old man paused, then said something no one expected, and I learned everything I needed to know. The manager swallowed hard. "Sir, there must be some misunderstanding. If we knew—" "That's the point," the old man interrupted. His voice didn't rise, but it cut through the room. "You didn't know." Another pause. "And you didn't care." No one dared to respond. The old man turned slowly, facing the entire staff. "Today," he said, "we begin again." A chill ran through the room, because this wasn't just a visit. This was judgment, and it had only just started. No one moved. No one spoke. Even the air felt heavier. The old man stood in the center of the showroom, not as a visitor anymore, but as the one in control. "Line up," he said calmly. The staff looked at each other, confused, nervous. "Everyone," he repeated. This time, no one hesitated. One by one, the salesmen stepped forward. The manager followed. Even the receptionist slowly joined them. A perfect line, but not out of pride, out of fear. The old man walked slowly in front of them, his hands behind his back, his eyes observing each face carefully. He stopped in front of the first salesman, the one who had laughed the loudest. "You seem confident," the old man said. The salesman forced a smile. "Sir, Yesterday," the old man interrupted, "you found something funny." The salesman's lips trembled. "I apologize, sir. I didn't mean—" "Didn't mean what?" the old man asked quietly. The man had no answer. The silence exposed him. The old man moved on. He stopped in front of another employee. You said this place wasn't for dreamers. The employee lowered his head. I was wrong, sir. Yes, the old man replied. You were? He continued walking. Slow, precise. Each step felt like pressure building in the room. Finally, he stopped in front of the manager, the man who allowed it all. You're in charge here, the old man said. The manager nodded nervously. Then tell me, the old man continued. What do you sell? Cars, sir, the manager replied quickly. The old man shook his head. No, the word echoed. You sell respect, he said. And yesterday you had none. The manager's face dropped. I'm sorry, sir. It won't happen again. That's easy to say, the old man replied. He stepped back and looked at all of them again. Apologies don't change character, he said. They reveal it. The staff stood frozen. Then something unexpected happened. The old man turned and walked toward the receptionist. She froze. Unlike the others, she hadn't laughed, but she also hadn't spoken. The old man stopped in front of her. You watched everything, he said. Her voice was barely audible. Yes, sir. Why didn't you say anything? The question hit harder than any accusation. I was afraid, she admitted. The room went silent again. The old man looked at her for a long moment, not with anger, but with something deeper, understanding. Fear, he said slowly, is the most expensive mistake in places like this. She nodded, tears forming in her eyes. I'm sorry, she whispered. The old man didn't respond immediately. Instead, he turned away and walked back to the center. Now, everyone was watching, waiting, because they knew something was about to happen, something final. The old man looked at the suited man, then back at the staff. Effective immediately, he said, we will make changes. The word changes sent a wave of panic through the room. The manager stepped forward. Sir, please. But the old man raised his hand, silencing him instantly. I believe in second chances, he said. A small sense of relief spread, but it didn't last long. Not for everyone. The relief vanished. The tension returned stronger than before. The old man picked up a document. Some of you, he continued, don't belong here anymore. Heartbeats quickened, eyes widened. The salesmen glanced at each other, because deep down, they knew yesterday had consequences, and today they were about to face them. The old man looked up. This isn't about revenge, he said calmly. A pause. It's about standards. The room held its breath, and then he called the first name. Everything was about to change. The silence was unbearable. Every heartbeat felt louder. Every second stretched longer. The old man looked down at the document in his hand, then slowly raised his eyes. Adnan, he called. The first salesman froze. The same one who had laughed the loudest. His legs felt weak as he stepped forward. Sir, please, he said quickly. I really need this job. The old man didn't respond immediately. He simply looked at him. Yesterday, the old man said calmly, you decided who deserved to be here. Adnan swallowed hard. Today, the old man continued, I'm doing the same. The words hit like a hammer. Effective immediately, you're dismissed. The room froze. Adnan's face lost all color. Sir, please, I have a family. The old man's expression didn't change. So, do the people you turn away, he replied. Adnan had no answer. Slowly, he stepped back, defeated. The old man moved to the next name, Bilal. Another salesman stepped forward, hands shaking. You judge without listening, the old man said. You laugh without understanding. I'm sorry, sir. Too late. Dismissed. One by one, names were called. Each step forward felt like walking toward the end. Each decision was final. The laughter from yesterday was gone, replaced by regret, fear, reality. Some tried to apologize. Some tried to explain. But nothing changed the outcome, because this wasn't anger. This was consequence. Within minutes, Half the sales team was gone. The showroom looked different now. Quieter, heavier, honest. The remaining staff stood still, afraid to even breathe too loudly. Then the old man turned toward the manager again. The man stiffened instantly. "Sir, You allowed it," the old man said. The manager's voice broke. "I didn't think it was that serious." "That's exactly the problem," the old man replied. "Silence. You thought respect wasn't serious." The manager lowered his head. "I'm sorry," he whispered. The old man stepped closer. "For years," he said, "this place built a reputation." His eyes moved across the showroom, not just for cars. A pause, but for how people were treated. The manager clenched his hands. "And yesterday," the old man continued, "you destroyed that in a few minutes." The weight of those words was undeniable. "Sir, please give me one more chance," the manager pleaded. The old man looked at him for a long moment, then finally said, "No." The word was quiet, but absolute. "You're relieved of your position." The manager closed his eyes. It was over, just like that. Power, gone. The old man stepped back again. Now only a few employees remained. Among them, the receptionist. She stood still, nervous, uncertain. The old man turned toward her. Her heart raced. "Step forward," he said. She did, slowly. The entire room watched, because this moment felt different. "Yesterday," the old man said, "you didn't laugh." She nodded slightly. "You didn't insult me." Another nod, but you stayed silent. Her eyes filled with tears again. "Yes, sir," she whispered. "I was scared." The old man looked at her carefully. "Fear can cost you everything," he said. She lowered her head. "I understand," she replied. A long pause followed. Then something unexpected happened. The old man handed her the document. Her hands trembled as she took it. "I don't just remove people," he said. A pause. "I also choose who stays." She looked up, confused. "From today," he continued, "you'll be in charge here." The room froze again. "What?" she whispered. "You saw what was wrong," the old man said. "Now prove you can make it right." Tears rolled down her face. I don't know if I can." "You can," he said calmly. And for the first time, there was something in his voice, not authority, but belief. The remaining staff looked shocked, because everything had changed in just one day. The old man turned away, walking slowly toward the exit. But before leaving, he stopped and said something that no one would ever forget. "This place doesn't need better sales." A pause. "It needs better people." And with that, he walked out, leaving behind silence, shock, and a completely new beginning. The dealership felt different, quieter, lighter, but also uncertain. No one spoke for a while after he left. The employees looked at each other, trying to understand what just happened. Half the team was gone. The manager was gone, and the receptionist was now in charge. She stood there, still holding the document, her hands slightly trembling. This can't be real," one employee whispered. But it was. Slowly, she took a deep breath, and for the first time, she stepped forward, not as a receptionist, but as a leader. "Let's get back to work," she said softly. Her voice wasn't loud, but it carried something new. Respect. The others nodded, because after everything they had just witnessed, no one dared to take anything lightly anymore. Hours passed. The showroom opened again. Customers walked in. But something had changed. The way they were greeted. The way they were treated. There were no judging looks. No careless laughter. Only respect. For everyone. Late in the afternoon, a black car stopped outside again. The same one. The receptionist noticed immediately. Her heart skipped a beat. "He's back," she whispered. The door opened, and the old man stepped out once again. But this time, everything was different. Before he even entered, the door was open for him, not by force, but by respect. He walked in slowly, looking around. This time, no one stared. No one whispered. Instead, Every employee stood straight. "Good afternoon, sir," the receptionist said. Her voice was steady now. The old man looked at her, and for the first time, he smiled. A small one, but real. "I see things have changed," he said. "Yes, sir," she replied. "We're trying." "Good," he said. He walked further inside, looking at the cars again. The same black sedan was still there, shining under the lights. He stopped in front of it, just like yesterday. But this time, no one stopped him. Instead, the receptionist stepped forward. "Would you like me to show you the details, sir?" she asked politely. The old man looked at her, then nodded. "Yes," he said, "I would." She began explaining. Calm, confident, respectful. Every detail, every feature, every answer. Not once did she hesitate. Not once did she judge. And when she finished, the old man looked at her with quiet approval. "Excellent," he said. She smiled slightly, then asked the question that mattered. "Would you like to proceed with the purchase, sir?" A small pause followed. Then the old man did something unexpected. He shook his head. "I already own it," he said calmly. Confusion filled the room. Before anyone could react, he turned toward the staff and finally revealed the truth. Many years ago, he began, "I built this dealership." The room went silent. From nothing, his eyes moved across the walls, the floors, the cars. "I wasn't rich," he continued. "I wasn't powerful." A pause. "But I believed in one thing. Respect. I treated every customer the same," he said, "whether they bought a car or just walked in." The employees listened carefully. "Because I knew something," he added. He looked directly at them. "You never know who someone really is." Silence. Years of meaning in one sentence. "I stepped away," he continued, "and left others to run this place." His expression changed slightly. "And yesterday, I came back." The weight of those words hit hard, not as an owner. A pause, but as a test. The room froze, and you failed. No one could deny it. "But today," he said, "you began to fix it." The tension slowly softened. The receptionist looked at him. "Sir, why me?" she asked quietly. The old man smiled again. "Because you felt something," he said. A pause. "Even when you were afraid." Her eyes filled with emotion. "That means you can change." He turned toward the others. "And so can all of you." A moment of silence followed. Not heavy this time. Meaningful. The old man took one last look around. "This place was never about cars," he said. A pause. "It was about people." Then he turned and began walking toward the exit. But this time, no one felt fear, only respect. As he reached the door, he stopped one last time. Without turning back, he said, "Remember," a pause, "the way you treat someone today decides who you become tomorrow." And then he walked out. The door closed softly behind him, but his words stayed forever.